Are you ready, Governor?
Everyone here had better buy a ticket to my fundraiser. These funds are my funds, these funds aren't your funds. I get to spend them the way I want to, and you can pass all the bills you want because these funds were meant to be spent by me. These funds are my funds, these funds. I went walking past the people asking for money to feed their children. I walked right past them and gave out contracts. These funds were meant to be spent by me. These funds are my funds, these funds are outsiders. I don't like them. They did not donate to my election. I see business closing. That will teach them when you ask me to help them. I'll say you did not donate to me. These funds.
What do you want to do for the bridge?
I don't know. Do you have an empty hotel for rent? Or maybe some cheap golf carts you can sell me for twice the price. With business dying and owners crying and their workers on corners begging, pull us over with people desperate and despondent. To the quickest, I give all rice checks. There's an election, I think I'll buy it. You'll never know until you try it. I'm not worried because I own the bank and these funds were meant to be spent by me. These funds were meant to be spent by me. Everyone here had better buy a ticket to my fundraiser.
Good evening and welcome to Point of View. I'm your host, Ken Leon Guerrero, and we're going to be talking about a matter of opinion. When I say a matter of opinion, we have to look at the fact that the taxpayers of the United States gave the people of Guam a gift. The gift they gave us was $556 million, which they hoped our governor would use for the benefit of the people. But as we can see under this administration, government of Guam is now open for business. When I say open for business, over the past 2 years, we have seen how this governor has taken almost $2 billion worth of federal funding that has kept our economy afloat and used it primarily for the benefit of politically well-connected insiders, not necessarily for the people of Guam. And we have a long list of examples on that, going back to renting hotels without contracts, but we were warned. In fact, I'm one of the ones that warned us, because back in August of 2019, I did a video prior to the primary expressing the concerns I had about this potential administration. Now, let's take a look at the Democratic Party, starting with the in team, with Lou and Josh. Now, I am not in favor of this team because it's a repeat of the Calvo Tenorio team, because here, once again, we have a big business that thinks they're going to run government of Guam like a business. Well, we saw how that worked under Calvo Tenorio, and we don't need a repeat. And the reason is government is not a business. Government is government. Business, the role of business is to make profit. The role of government is to provide service. There are so many well-connected political insiders flocking to the banner of the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration. It reminds me of vultures getting ready to feed, because every one of these political insiders are only supporting the candidates in return for something. They're all expecting something. They all want their bite or their piece of the pie, so to speak. So when I see this many well-connected political insiders driving a campaign like this, I know they're only going to fatten their own pockets at the expense of the public. We've been through that with the Calvo Tenorio team. We cannot afford a repeat. Yeah, we've gone through 30 months of financial abuse by the Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration, and we're looking at more financial abuse coming ahead, because in a recent story, even the Office of Finance and Budget came out with a forecast that they were expecting the next 2 years to be very difficult financially for government of Guam. The problem is, when things are difficult financially for government of Guam, it's the people who suffer, not necessarily the politicians or the politically well-connected insiders. It's the people, because we've gone through a year from hell, and 40,000 people unemployed at the peak is proof of that. Our people are suffering, and they'll continue to suffer as a result of the loss of the PUA, and now the partial shutdown of the economy, what little economy we have left being partially shut down. There's a lot of people out there worried about how they're going to be able to put money in their pockets to keep the roof over their head or put food on the table in front of their children. And that's unfortunate that we have come to this situation. And in the meantime, the governor is sitting on top of millions of dollars meant to be used for the benefit of the people, while our people are depending upon charity from those better off than them to put food on the table. What is wrong with this picture? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong with this picture. We have a political administration in place that cares more about their financial security and safety than the financial security and safety of the people. And the fact that they continue to hold on to that $560 million, pretending it's her money, when in reality, it's our money. So as we come out of this situation, so far, the governor has put the people of Guam into a death match competition, lining up. And we've got almost 40,000 people, some who have waited all night in cars to get their applications in to help take care of their family. And yet, out of this, we're looking at just a fraction of those people who waited in line to get their money. And the governor says, yeah, she'll fund everybody if the legislature finds more money. But the legislature doesn't need to find more money, because the money is here. It's just the governor wants to keep it for herself, proving the wisdom of George Orwell when he wrote Animal Farm and created the rules. Rule number 7, all animals are created equal, but some animals are more equal than others. And I'm talking specifically about politically well-connected insiders. And why is she holding on to that money? The answer is simple: politics. Because as long as she's holding on to $500 million, the $300 she's setting aside for a hospital, that guarantees maximum attendance at any and all of her fundraisers. And I'm sure starting January, there'll probably be one a week, virtual, so that she doesn't have to incur any expenses renting facilities, and all the donations will go straight into her campaign. But for someone who claimed to be a governor who is going to put the people of Guam first, we can look at how she has treated Guam Memorial Hospital going back to the campaign. On her campaign, she made all kinds of promises about how she was going to be the governor that finally fixed Guam Memorial Hospital. Yet 30 months into her administration, we've seen nothing but abuse of Guam Memorial Hospital, starting back with the labor and delivery room. And the reason I'm highlighting the labor and delivery room, I met Tom Shea 10 years ago when we were both testifying before the legislature trying to get $5 million to modernize and update the area of Guam where we welcome Guam's newest citizens, the labor and delivery room. 10 years ago, it was in bad shape. And over the past 10 years, Dr. Shea and other medical professionals have tried to get money to renovate the hospital's labor and delivery room. But instead, Governor Leon Guerrero, in her first month of office, gutted the finances of Guam Memorial Hospital when she passed Bill 30, which is corporate welfare plan for Guam Regional Medical Center. And in the meantime, her bank, where she was president, denied a loan to Guam Memorial Hospital, even though it was guaranteed by the federal government. That shows that her intentions to use the new Guam Memorial Hospital is nothing more than a political ploy to ensure good attendance and healthy donations to our upcoming campaign. Because our people are suffering now, we have a health care crisis now, and every day new citizens are coming to Guam through the labor and delivery room. Out of that $560 million, why doesn't she take $10 million of that and fix the labor and delivery room and bring it up to state-of-the-art standards? That still leaves $550 million at her discretion. Now she could take another $10 million and fix the roof and prevent the major complaint about the physical structure of the building, the leaking roofs. $10 million, we have a new roof. Another $10 million, we have a state-of-the-art delivery system. Now, if she were to put everything on hold like she plans to until the new hospital is built 10 years from now, that means that 20,000 new residents of Guam will be born without having a new hospital. But as soon as Mike Nicholas comes up with the news that we can get $345 million from the federal government to partially fund a new hospital, the governor jumped on it. And now she's adding the $345 million to the $300 million when there are better ways to finance the hospital. The reason why it's important that we note that is the people need improving our existing facility now, not 10 years from now. We need to expand and strengthen our health care options now, and it costs a penny for every dollar she wants to spend 10 years down the road. If she were to spend a penny today, we could make dramatic improvements to the quality of health care facilities on the island. Now, there have been recent stories in the media about 15% increase every year. That's just hype. This is the governor trying to drum up a compelling sense of urgency. She's trying to get the people of Guam to demand that she spends that holds on to that $300 million so that we can build a new hospital. When the smart and prudent thing would be, and the fastest thing to do would be, to use 20 to 30 million of that 560 million to make dramatic improvements to the existing facility so that we can start experiencing a better quality health care facility now, not 10 years from now. Now, the reason I bring this up also is because we're looking at a major cash flow problem down the road in government of Guam. We're looking at a legislature that continues to stick their heads in the sand, pretending that everything is going to be better tomorrow, when nothing could be further from the truth. Industry experts are predicting that tourism won't return to the 2019 levels for 5 to 10 years from now. But in the meantime, our senators are acting as if the tax revenues they collect are going to continue at the same level that they did. Here's why I'm concerned. At the beginning of the Calvo Tenorio administration, the budget for government of Guam was $400 million a year. By the end of the Calvo Tenorio administration, we were knocking on $1 billion. But our economy hadn't doubled in that time. So how did the budget for government of Guam double at a time when the economy did not double? That is the question. And here our politicians are continuing with the fiction that our economy is going to get better, so they pass a $900 million budget against all conventional wisdom. At the end of the day, the economy is going to be in trouble. The government of Guam finances are going to be in trouble. And that $560 million would be better used to take care of our people and to take care of the small businesses on our island, because government of Guam can't hire the 20,000 people who are unemployed. They may try to coming up on this election, but financially we can't afford to. But what we can do is we can create programs to stimulate and support our small businesses, because they are the ones that have the ability to create lasting and meaningful jobs for the residents on our island. And until that happens, what we're looking at is a consolidation of money in the checkbook of the governor to be used as she sees fit. And based on 30 months of her administration so far, we see that she doesn't have the best interest of the people of Guam as her focal point. I'm Ken Leon Guerrero, and this is my point of view. See you next week.
Everyone here had better buy a ticket to my fundraiser.